and welcome. It's our Confessions podcast. Yes, another one. An audio array of terrible tales from the sinful Radio 2 listenership. This week's concise collection, and it's actually conciser than normal because we've had a shorter week. A perilous post-palaver, a sensitive suitcase saga. This is all because of Bank Holiday, and the Tim Vine confession is on the Weekly Mayo podcast. I think that's all the information that you need. Who are you going to forgive? Here it comes. This is BBC Radio 2, and welcome to another drive time confession into the collective. Sister Pauline, austere, unforgiving, proud.
But even-handed.
No, the voice of Scottish Presbyterianism. Even if she isn't.
He's in one of those moods tonight. He's in one of those moods.
The Dean of Deadliness and Brother Matthew. So here it is. This is from Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Dear Father Simon and the Carefree Collective. I need to take you back to when I was employed in the general office of a loans company. It's not a promising opening sentence.
Oh, dear.
I had joined the company after leaving college and had worked my way through various junior positions to end up as an office manager. The work was not particularly exciting, mostly pen pushing, and I didn't see a huge future in it. In fact, I was getting increasingly bored. One particular Friday, I was looking through the classified ads in the copy of the previous night's newspaper when I strayed into the Situations Vacant page. My eyes were drawn, as if by fate, to a job vacancy that seemed to meet exactly what I was looking for. Management of a busy office, experience in supervising staff, telephone account management work, etc. Applications should be sent to a P.O. box number. I decided that this would be a good career move and furtively began to type a letter and CV using the office typewriter, pausing every few seconds to make sure that no one noticed that I was applying for a job in office time. After many attempts, I finished my application and popped it into a white envelope. I then asked the office manageress, Mrs. Tukes, for a stamp, as I had an urgent letter to post, and popped down to the post office to drop it in. So, the office is stationary, the office is time, and Mrs. Tukes' stamp, for heaven's sake.
I mean, really?
I spent the afternoon in a state of nervous anticipation. Would I get an interview? Where was the job based? Would I get a salary?
Well, hopefully. What?
I was jolted out of my preoccupation in my potential career change when at 4:30 my telephone rang. I picked it up and was surprised to have my branch manager on the other end. Pop in and see me now, would you? I felt myself panic just a little. Had I been seen by someone typing the letter in company time and using their equipment and their paper and their stamps, I was going to be confronted with the whole saga and no chance of either promotion there or a reference elsewhere. I was finished at the tender age of 22. I knocked on the BM's door and felt like a schoolboy being summoned to the headmaster's office. "Come in!" he shouted.
Right,
He lives. I squared my tie, swallowed hard in the hope that the lump that was in my throat would somehow go away, and prepared myself for the worst. "Geoffrey, sit down." I sat opposite him in a chair that was much smaller than his own and felt his eyes boring into mine. "I've had my eye on you for some time."
Are we adding this to your working class and your camp calling?
I don't know what this voice is.
New one, is it?
It's my office manager voice.
Office manager. It's fantastic, this one.
You don't strike me as being particularly happy in your work.
No.
Oh, no, I thought he does know about the application, and I squirmed and I sat with my hands together to stop them shaking. All I could do is apologise and do the decent thing and resign there and then. But he continued, "I do feel you're an asset to this office, and it is only right to offer you a change in direction." Continued, and my mood lightened a little. "I like the way you deal with people and would like you to consider joining our external sales force as a trainee representative. It would carry a better salary, a company car, and would push your career forwards." A huge smile swapped places with what had earlier been a worried frown. "Well, that would be wonderful, Mr. Longarm," I blurted. "Really, Mr. Longarm?"
Is that a new...
I think so. I blurted out, "How soon would you want me to start?" "Well, we need to find a replacement for your job," he said, "but we advertised in yesterday's paper, so I would expect replies on Monday. Sorry, I should have told you about the situation sooner." My smile turned back to a worried frown when I realised what I had done. I'd actually applied for my own job.
Brilliant.
I'd also grossly exaggerated my abilities and my current salary. In fact, the CV I'd written down was a pack of lies, and it was going to land on my manager's desk Monday morning. Yes. I had a sleepless weekend. I'd not only produced a work of fiction in the CV department that would show me as a complete and utter liar, but had shown no loyalty to the company. Needless to say, the promotion would be withdrawn, and I'd be back to where I'd started the previous Friday. Then, in the small hours of Sunday night, my moment of inspiration came to me. I would get into the office early on Monday morning and retrieve my application before it was opened. I got in just after 8 in the knowledge that the post was usually here at 8:15. I hovered around the front door to the building waiting for the postman. It got to 8:15 when the postman exited the front door with a cheery "Good morning."
Oh no!
Which one was that? I don't know.
Dear, oh dear. Mike Yarwood.
I don't plan them, you know. I just channel my inner postman.
Really?
It's fantastic.
I raced up the stairs, desperate to get in before anyone else. I was sweating and panting when I flung open the office door. Mrs. Tukes sat there sorting the post. "Oh dear," she said. You don't look very well." Quick as a flash, I responded, "No, I feel a bit faint," and put on a "I'm going to faint" face. "Would you mind if I sat in your chair?" I said, "and could you get me a glass of water?" "Of course, sit down," she said, and with that she scurried off to the kitchen. "Sit still, I won't be long," she said. As soon as her back was turned, I rifled through the post, found my unopened envelope and stuffed it into my pocket. My relief was palpable. She returned with the water. "Oh, you look better already. Here's your water. Sit quietly. I'll get one of the reps to take you home." Which she did. Having got home, I destroyed the evidence and spent the rest of the day with a large gin and a large grin. And by lunchtime, I was down at the local. Went back to work the following day and planned for my new job. So I seek forgiveness for a string of shameful actions to my employer for using office time and equipment for personal reasons, for making exaggerated claims in my CV, or lies as you might call them, for tricking Mrs. Tukes into thinking I was ill, for getting Phil the rep to take me home and him losing his parking space near the office, and for staging a sickie and going down the pub when I should have been hard at work. My whole career is a fabrication. Well, it's Jeff. I don't think we've had anyone apply for their own job before, but this is a good one and we like it very much indeed. Let's see what Sister Pauline is making of this. Stern face.
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because who of us have not perhaps exaggerated slightly on job applications?
Put my pen down.
Sorry. I think I think we have to forgive that. Really, I do quite like the resourcefulness of the fainting spell, but I do feel a bit sorry for Mrs. Tukes. But on the whole, no, we're going to forgive that. I think got away with it. Going to forgive it.
Okay, I think job application confessions would be quite a good and rich area. CVs that might not be as entirely truthful as they need to be. Alan Dedico.
I thought that was a brilliant recovery, an absolutely brilliant recovery. It's one of the best ones I've done since I've joined the team.
It's nothing to do with you, mate. It's just, you know, listeners write them, I choose them.
This is just typical, isn't it? This is just typical.
Anyway, get on with it.
And I liked the interpretation of Mr. Longarm particularly. That was brilliant on your part. I forgive as well. No harm done, everybody.
What do you think, Brother Matthew?
Right, what is going on at this insurance company where they are advertising for positions and then decide, you know what, we're not going to bother with the interview process, let's just offer it to that bloke who's already doing the job, and without telling him that we were going to advertise it in the first place. So frankly, it's the insurance company's problem. But the reason I like this confession is that this is the kind of story that couldn't happen now, because obviously you'd have to email in your application these days, and so all the length that he went to would have been for nothing because you wouldn't have been able to get into the email. So that's why I'm going to forgive.
Mrs. Tukes might have looked at the emails and he might have arranged to delete the one that
you'd have done a sort of hacking.
Yeah, Mr. Longarm wouldn't trouble himself with emails.
For that reason, I am going to forgive.
Oh,
for no reason at all.
Good heavens, it's 5:45. What's happening? I don't know why we're so late, but here we go with another confession for you. It's another live drive-time confession from Jeremy this time. Thank you very much indeed, Jeremy. Here we go. Dear Father Simon and the dearly beloved, my confession takes me back to the early noughties and my time as an account manager for a well-known insurance company. Another very uninspiring opening sentence. Now, on this particular occasion, I found myself flying up to Glasgow for a conference with a major firm of consulting actuaries. The day consisted of seminars and presentations, followed by a black-tie dinner in aid of a major charity. I was honoured to meet Jonathan Edwards, the world record holder, triple jump champion at the time, although I hasten to add, my confession has got nothing to do with him.
Oh, right.
So you just tossed that in, realising that it had been a bit dull so far. Like a lot of these events, the wine flowed, a good time was had by all, and I sloped off to bed at a very unrespectable hour. The following morning, and after less than 4 hours' sleep, I had to be up very early to catch the first flight back to Cardiff. Or so I thought. As the taxi pulled into Glasgow Airport, the airport was shrouded in thick fog. I checked in, but was told that flights were suspended from Glasgow until the fog lifted. Feeling a little fragile, I traipsed around Glasgow Departure Lounge, feeling irritable and very worse for wear. I was tired and really just wanted to get home after my night of excess. I was travelling light, and only a blue suit carrier containing my dinner suit from the night before. I then noticed, rather annoyingly, that the chain you would hang the suit carrier up with was swinging freely and frequently hitting the floor, or worse, crashing into my ankle, dealing it a rather painful blow. This inconvenience was something I tried to put off for several minutes. Given my delicate state, I didn't want to bend over for fear of what might happen. But after numerous painful blows, I decided to bend down, unfasten the said chain, slide it into the large side zip pocket of the suit carrier. Despite an immediate wave of nausea, I was pleased to resolve the problem. After a few... That was relevant, by the way, to what happens next.
Okay.
After a few hours, it was announced that instead of waiting for the fog to lift, we were going to be transported by coach to Edinburgh, where there were no foggy delays. All travellers piled their belongings into the coach, and they climbed aboard, relieved not to be hanging around any longer. I sat down and shortly into my journey observed a very attractive lady sat a couple of seats in front of me. She was American and travelling to the US via Heathrow. Evidently, the delays at Glasgow had caused her much angst with her arrangements. This I could tell from the various phone calls that she was making, trying to ensure she didn't miss her flight. After what seemed an eternity, we eventually arrived at Edinburgh Airport. Needing some fresh air, I decided to be the first one off the coach so I could check in quickly. The driver started to unload the hold. My blue suit carrier came out first. Great. But what was this? The attractive American lady was heading towards me, slightly aggressively, I thought, had I stared at her obvious beauty a little too obviously. But now, stranger than strange, she was now grabbing at my suit carrier as well, as I was lifting it away, and a comic tug-of-war ensued for what felt like minutes, but was probably just about 10 seconds. "You have my carrier," she said.
Oh, I say. Here we go.
She said in a southern state drawl.
I'm digging it down.
"You have my carrier?
Yes?
I need my carrier." "I think you're mistaken, madam," I said. "This is mine." "No, I tell you, it's mine."
I do declare.
JR,
Blanche Dubois.
that
Here it
is my
comes.
carrier. I know my carrier. You have my carrier. Give me my carrier now. "It's mine, madam." Anyway, after further tugging and glares, I tried to reason with the beautiful but insistent young lady. Then I had my brainwave. "I know the chain! I will prove the suit carrier is mine by triumphantly producing it from the side pocket. I'll produce the chain and prove her wrong." Without explaining my actions, I immediately grabbed the side zipper. I slid it open and dived my hand in and fished around for the chain. The look of bewilderment on the young lady's face as I dived into the side pocket quickly turned to one of shock and speechlessness and horror. For after several seconds fishing around for the chain, I grabbed something or other, and it was a bit soft and fluffy. Anyway, I pulled it out and I revealed not the chain, but a pink frilly pair of knickers. Yes, indeed, the incredibly sexy sort. I didn't wave them around for too long. I have to seek, Father Simon, the forgiveness of the lovely American for not explaining my actions and for wafting her pink frilly knickers in the chilly Edinburgh air on a cold February morning. Heaven knows what she must have thought of me. Well, I do declare, not only for my inexcusable behaviour outside the airport terminal, but also subsequently at the check-in queue, stood behind her waiting to check in and seeing the funny side of what had just happened and trying not to laugh out loud. Father Simon, I'm not a boorish individual. Circumstances contrived against me on this day, and I hope that you can see it in your heart to forgive. Hopefully the pretty lady was not too traumatised and could put it down to just having a bad day. Hopefully in some small corner of the good old US of A, she can laugh at what happened on that day and can spend a hard-working middle-aged and can forgive a hard-working middle-aged man for his actions on that day, because I thought it was the chain, but it turned out to be pants. Well, it's Jeremy's confession. What do we think? Sister Pauline goes first.
No, not forgiven. How could you possibly mistake a chain for a pair of pink frilly
Well,
knickers?
he was expecting...
Must he have whipped it out when it clearly was not chain shaped or Jane feeling, and really
Scott Mills, that was
could
you, that one.
could it possibly have been beyond his comprehension that they could have actually zipped the thing open and seen what was inside?
He'd invested so much time in putting his hand in, he couldn't just go, oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I realise
He was
it's
not
yours.
being a nice person, didn't deserve to.
He had to whip it out, and then he just got embarrassed.
No.
What did we say, Brother Matthew?
Well, here's the thing. What's she doing packing her pants in the suit carrier?
That's not the point.
Yeah, you don't
Not
put
the
your
point.
pants
You
in
can
the
put
suit
them where
carrier.
you like,
No,
not the point.
no.
It
I would
was
say
hers. It's
putting your
her
pants
case.
in the suit carrier
Does what she likes.
is hostage to fortune. And
It's her
for
fault.
that reason
Her
alone,
fault.
I am going to forgive. Because which of us has ever put pants in there? You don't put pants there.
No, you don't.
You don't put pants in them. You put pants in your case or in the hold or wherever else. You don't put them in your suit carrier. So, yes, he was entirely forgiven.
You don't.
No, I don't. Ooh.
Okay, so it's
say.
confessions at bbc.co.uk. We would like airport confessions being delayed, confessions, inappropriate suitcase confessions,
please.
that kind of thing. If, by the way, pack as many different accents in, we can.
Yeah,
I
you
can
can-
master
yeah.
almost anything.
Yeah.
That was that. Let us know your confession, please. It's confessions@bbc.co.uk. Next week, a full version, of course. The Weekly Mayo, available to download now and every Thursday. Thank you.